Now that we've completed the manufacturing overhead budget, we can set up the ending finished goods budget. So basically for the ending finished goods budget, we're just trying to find out what the estimated total budgeted cost is of ending finished goods for the period. So the first thing we want to do is find out what the product cost is per unit first, per unit of finished goods. So to find the total cost per unit, we first want to find what the total direct materials cost is for 1 unit. So recall that for 1 unit to be produced, it requires 5 pounds of raw materials. And the cost of raw materials is 40 cents per pound. So if 1 unit requires 5 pounds and the cost of those 5 pounds of materials is 40 cents per pound, we simply multiply 5 pounds times 40 cents each to find that the total direct materials cost for 1 unit is simply $2. We do the same for direct labor. We know that direct labor, and we require 0.05 direct labor hours or 3 minutes of direct labor time to complete 1 finished product or 1 unit of finished product. And the cost of direct labor is $10 per direct labor hour. So to find out the total direct labor cost to make 1 unit of finished goods, we simply take the $10 per direct labor hour times the 0.05 direct labor hours required to make 1 unit. $10 times 0.05 is a total direct labor cost of 50 cents per unit. And now we're going to do the same thing for manufacturing overhead. But first, we need to find the manufacturing overhead rate. So recall that the allocation base for applying overhead in this case for this company is direct labor hours. So first we would need to know what the total variable manufacturing overhead is and the total fixed manufacturing overhead for the quarter. Well, we already completed the manufacturing overhead budget, and we know for the entire quarter that the total variable overhead is $101,000 for the quarter, and the total fixed overhead for the quarter is $150,000. So we just add those two together to find that the total manufacturing overhead for the entire quarter is $251,000. The total direct labor hours for the entire quarter is 5,050 direct labor hours. And that figure of 5,050 is coming from the direct labor budget. So that's where we got that from. So when we take the total estimated or budgeted overhead divided by the total estimated number of direct labor hours, we get a manufacturing overhead rate of $49.70 per direct labor hour. Now, if 1 unit of product requires 0.05 direct labor hours, we can multiply that by the manufacturing overhead rate to find out how much overhead to be applied to 1 unit of product. 0.05 times $49.70 is $2.49. So we add together the direct materials cost per unit, direct labor cost per unit, and manufacturing overhead cost per unit. We get a total cost per finished goods unit of $4.99. And we know that the budgeted finished goods inventory is 5,000 units. So if we know the budgeted finished goods inventory is 5,000 units and the cost per finished goods or cost per unit of finished goods is $4.99, we just take the 5,000 times the $4.99 and we get a total budgeted cost of ending finished goods inventory of $24,950. And just where are we getting these 5,000 units from? That's from being pulled from the production budget, where we found what the desired ending inventory was for the end of the quarter. So all we need to know is the ending units in finished goods for the quarter and multiply that by the per unit cost of inventory to get this $24,950 here.